Friends, what's up? Ash here. Welcome back to Gents. We used to ask ourselves whether we could, but nobody ever stopped in and stopped and said if we should. Technology has pushed things too far. Billions of dollars have been spent. Scientists said it couldn't even be done, but now the most unprecedented thing in fragrance history has happened. Ralph Lauren has released a Parfum flanker. It's not a big deal. Everybody releases friggin' Parfum flankers. Ralph Lauren, Ralph's Club, New York, Parfum. Nice. Yeah, so this is the evolution, the new version of the original Ralph's Club, New York. The question is it any good? Let's go ahead and kick it off by taking a look at the presentation, and then I'll break down how this smells, how it's similar to this or different than this, and whether or not you should get your nose on it. Le box. Front of the box looks pretty nice. I like the color scheme, this sort of like copper on black. It's classy, reminds me of a speakeasy or something. You got the name of the fragrance, name of the flanker, size and concentration. It is a 110 ml size, so you get 10% extra compared to your normal 100 ml size bottle, which is cool for me. It's something a lot of brands should do right now because everything keeps going up in price. If they could give you like just a little extra, because I mean, they're charging you a lot extra, it would be welcome. Up on top, it says RL Parfum. Little info on one side, QR code on the other side. On the back, you've got your ingredient info as well as your barcode. And then on the bottom, your batch code. Mine is 22A13FF. Here we got the bottle itself. You have the Ralph's Club logo on the front, the name of the fragrance house as well. Nice gradient. Black up top goes down to kind of a boozy cognac color at the bottom. It says Ralph Lauren on the back as well. You've got the Ralph's Club logo on top of the cap. On the bottom, sticker with your batch code, and the cap clicks into place, but also is held in place by a hinge. Let's go ahead and do a couple sprays. Atomizer's not bad. There's the presentation. I think it looks really, really nice and upscale. I do wonder if maybe it would have looked a little bit better if, say, this top part was black. Where it's silver, I think if it was black, it would blend in a little bit better with the top of the bottle here. I know they probably saved money just by reusing essentially the same cap that they had for the original one, but I think it would have set it apart just a little bit more. Now I'm gonna have this one linked in the description down below along with the original as well. And it's not currently available at discounters, but in the future it will be, knock on wood. And when it is, you can use codes, these codes, to save money. They're also in the description so you can copy and paste them at any of those stores to save yourself cash anytime you're looking to buy some fragrances for cheap. All right, how does the new Parfum version smell? How does it match up against the original? Well, this new version comes out with a lightly jammy black currant. It smells really, really nice, and that's actually one of the main things that you pick up from the original. Black currant was actually part of the marketing for the new Ralph's Club New York, at least when it was new. So much so that they even said it was the only men's fragrance to ever prominently use black currant, which is a complete lie, but you know, they went for it. Good for you. It does smell really good though, to be fair. So as I said, the black currant in the Parfum version, jammy, a little bit thicker, a little bit more of an evening type of black currant, if there were such a thing. Whereas in the original version, fresher. More of that typical tart, fruity pop of black currant, you know, mixing together with other fruits, giving more depth. In the Parfum version, it has a little more restraint, I would say. It's not quite as fruity, not quite as aggressive, not quite as tart. And it's also not really trying to blast the room with syrupy sweetness. You know, a lot of really sweet fragrances nowadays. This one, a little bit more restrained when you first spray it on. So that fruit that you do get, it's more controlled, it's smoother, it's trying to be a little classier. I threw the tester strip, so do-overs. Just underneath that black currant, really early on, you can pick up this really pleasant, boozy woodiness that starts to creep in. It gives this one much more of a mature direction when you compare it to the original. Not that it comes across necessarily smelling like really dated, but it definitely comes across more, as I said, buttoned up, more mature, more put together, more sophisticated. Probably not a huge surprise because it is a Parfum flanker, and a lot of times that's kind of the direction they take. You know, they go, okay, the Parfum, this is the one for the elegant night out. And that's kind of what they've done with this. You get some faint aromatic floral nuances kind of bubbling up underneath that woodiness, underneath that booze as it settles in. I'm talking within the first 3 or 4 minutes. And then as it settles down onto your skin, you get a really pleasant tonka vanilla combo warmth. And the way that the tonka vanilla sort of vibe comes across along with that booziness is one of the stronger parts of the fragrance. Not necessarily in terms of how much it's projecting, like not that type of strength, but just in terms of what it does really well. The sweetness that's here is balanced. And there's nothing wrong with the sugar bomb of a fragrance. I like a lot of those, but sometimes you do want something that keeps it in check, and that's what this one does. So a quick comparison there in the opening, the original, that one leans way more versatile, way fresher, more of that focus on citrus, black currant, lavender, and just more of that overall casual kind of vibe. That kind of fragrance that you can just sit on your desk, sit on a counter, whatever, grab, spray, and go, not even think about it. That's what this is. And it does that really, really well. This one is a completely different animal. The focus, even in the opening, is on the booze, the woods, the warmth. The fruit works alongside those notes instead of leading those notes. And the result is a really smooth, polished, grown-up opening. Now into the mid, the Parfum shifts very clearly toward the lavender side of things. At that point, the fruit slides back, and so you're gonna have more of that cognac sort of boozy woodiness, and then the lavender actually over top of that. The woods have kind of a warm aspect to them, and the way the lavender is handled here is also really well done. It's not powdery, it's not dusty, it's not like old school barbershop style, though it does maybe have a little bit of that barbershop aspect kind of in the background that you can pick up. The lavender is more smooth, lightly creamy, and polished. You still have a little bit of the aromatic edge to the scent in the mid as well. The woodiness starts to pick up kind of a sandalwood scent profile. There's nothing especially spicy or zingy or crazy loud in the mid. It's more a classically masculine scent profile done in a modern way that's focusing on doing things with warmth and with polish. It's confident, it's well put together, but it's not really attention starved. It's not really that type of scent that's like bashing people over the head, trying to get their attention. Not that it's weak, just that it's not that kind of like Rabanne-esque vibe, right? Which makes sense because it's not a Rabanne, but you know what I'm saying. And the dry down here smells familiar, but not dated. What I mean by that is it's pushed further in the dry down towards that fougere sort of scent structure. It's obviously done, as I've mentioned, with the slight boozy lift, with those smooth, warm, woody notes, but it clearly has one foot on that fougere side of the line. Going back to the woody notes that are in here, in the dry down, they get a little bit darker, so you're gonna get a little bit of that coming across after it's been on your skin for a while, but not darker in the sense that it gets funky or earthy or animalic or anything like that. So when I say dark, think more refined dark woods, not raw dark woods. And in that far dry down, it's not like an explosive grand finale where you have like, all these different things happening, sugary notes and deep dark woody notes and pops of spice and cognac drenched over top and all of that. That's not what's going on. It's more just a really well manicured dry down. Not boring, not generic, quietly confident. That's probably the way I'd put it. And again, when I say quietly confident, I'm not talking about the fragrance is like a skin scent that lasts 30 minutes and then it's gone. That's not what I mean. It just has that air of confidence about it where you don't have to scream to make yourself known. You just are known. So the overall performance, I'd say, for the Parfum is solid. The longevity's locked in. It'll stick on your skin for a good amount of time. Off clothing, it'll last a long, long time. And the projection is good without becoming overbearing, unless you went really heavy. If you go really heavy, then it will be overbearing. But if you spray like a normal amount, it'll be fine. It's that type of scent that it doesn't overwhelm, but as you're wearing it, you'll pick up a nice waft through the day or the evening. You'll just catch a nice whiff, you'll know it's there, but it's not that kind that just constantly is assaulting people and yourself. And for this type of scent, I think that actually works better because if you have something that's trying to get across this feeling of classiness, of sophistication, done in a designer way, with a little bit of that throwback feel to it, you want it to be confident without being like immature in how it comes across. So what I mean by that is if you have something that's just aggressively, obnoxiously loud it kind of takes part of that quiet confidence aspect away, right? It's like dressing up in a nice suit or something like that, and then putting on shoes that are neon red, yellow, and green or something, and then a tie that's plaid. And I'm talking aggressively plaid. Because then people will go, okay, I see the suit, it looks great. What happened to the rest of it? It's like a clown puked all over you. You ruined it. It's also like date night fragrances, you know, certain date night fragrances where they're maybe a little bit softer. It's not necessarily a bug, it's a feature. Seasonality-wise, spring, fall, winter, I think middle of summer, I'd definitely go for something else because this is leaning into that woody, ambery, boozy, lavender scent profile, you know. Middle of summer is gonna come across just a little too heavy, even if it's not the loudest thing in the room. And it leans more toward evening use. You could dress this up really, really easily if you wanted to, but it would absolutely work during the day as well if you want something that's a little bit more elegant compared to your typical day-to-day scent. It's got a dressed up feel, but it's not fully locked into formal only. Now the overall verdict, the pros and the cons. Overall for me, Ralph's Club New York Parfum is a solid release. Really well done, but it doesn't necessarily take the original and move it to the promised land, which would be, I guess, just making it somehow unbelievably amazing. This is the more dressed up, mature version of Ralph's Club New York. It's not the definitive version of Ralph's Club New York. What I mean by that is sometimes you get a flanker that comes out and when you smell it, you go, ugh, this basically does everything that the original does, just better. That's not what's going on here. This is still the more easy to wear one. This is still the fresher one. This is still the one that would probably get more use from most people, but this one does kind of fill in the gap at maybe the spots that the original would not be as good at. I do like that the Parfum is not really chasing trends too much. You know, it's not taking a look at Stronger With You and The Most Wanted and being like, okay, we'll just do that. So that's really good because it's not just like another throwaway fragrance where you go, okay, cool. If you like this one, 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 and this one, you'll like this one too because it's right there alongside those. And it surprisingly landed really well with my wife who liked it way, way more than I expected. So it's probably not that kind of fragrance that a lot of people are gonna clamor for as the release of the year or anything like that, because it's that type of scent that slowly grows on you and makes a really positive impression over time. It's not quite as much that type of scent that just hits you with a huge wall of spice and vanilla and sweetness and orange blossom and all this other stuff that's really popular right now and just immediately captures your attention right off the rip. It's more of that kind of fragrance you smell and you go, ah, it's really nice. You know, it's well done, it's put together. And as you wear it more, you grow to really appreciate it. So maybe not explosive, not flashy, not revolutionary necessarily, just really well done. So now just those bullet pointed pros and cons. First, the pros, the opening, smooth, classy, well done. The blackcurrant, the booze, the woodiness works together really well. Also the mid and the dry down, they're well put together. They're polished without smelling dated. The lavender that comes across is really nice. It's handled well. It doesn't get dusty. It doesn't get powdery. The performance is good enough to satisfy without being aggressive. It's easy to dress up and wear formally or casually if you wanted to. And it feels like a really well done, mature evolution of the original. Now the cons, like I said, it's not particularly flashy or explosive. You know, it's not that kind of thing where you spray it on a tester strip, hand it to somebody and they go, I'll take 10. Also, younger guys might find it a little bit too mature or a little bit too restrained. Also, for what it's worth, it's not as versatile as the original. And as I said, it feels like more of a slow burn grower than an instant obsession. Outside of that, really, really like this stuff. And I like that it has just that faint little hint of like a throwback style to it, you know? Sometimes when you reach into the past, pull something into the present and modernize it, can be really nice and actually set you apart more than all the other stuff that's chasing trends. So there we go, Ralph's Club New York Parfum. Absolutely worth checking out if you can get your nose on it. And as time goes on, usually Ralph Lauren fragrances hit discounters and get discounted a pretty good amount. I wanna thank you guys for hanging with me. Stay safe out there, take care of yourselves. I'll see you tomorrow with another fragrance video. See you guys.